Hey everybody, Jake here for Extreme Terrain, and in this video we're taking a look at the Morimoto 4-banger HXB White SAE Wide Beam A-Pillar Fog Light Kit fitting 2014 to 2021 Tundras. For those of you Tundra owners out there who are off-roading, working on dark job sites, overlanding, or just generally driving in places that are really dark, some additional lighting will not go amiss. And it doesn't get much brighter or more functional than Morimoto's 4-bangers here. These are super high quality, these are super high quality, easy to install ditch lights that provide you with a ton of output and some clever engineering to keep the road and trail in front of you extremely well lit. I have been known to wax unapologetically and poetically about Morimoto's lights, and that's because I firmly believe that they are some of the best lighting products you can get for pretty much any truck. Now the 4-banger fog lights we have here are of course no exception, and they go way beyond just having a fun name. Now the key feature here is obviously going to be the output. Now these ones in particular are the HXB series, which give you the most output you can get. Now these are not your garden variety fog or ditch lights. These in particular have a bright white color temperature with a super wide beam pattern. The optics inside feature dual axis control, so you get that really wide beam pattern without a lot of hot spotting. And of course, you can also adjust these on the mounts to point them wherever you need them. Flexibility is really the name of the game here. Now that beam pattern does adhere to SAE J581 standards, and depending on where you live, these can be considered street legal fog lights. But check your local laws first. I am not your lawyer. However, moreover, these are going to offer 80% brighter output as compared to other fog lights on the market, and they also consume less power. Now the beam pattern here throws a ton of light way out in front of the truck or to the sides depending on how you have it adjusted, so it's going to cut through even the most dense fog and give you plenty of visibility in adverse conditions. So these are about perfect if you find yourself out in the dark often. They can light up anything from ditches to job sites and pretty much everything in between, giving you a better shot of making it through whatever's out there. The included brackets in this kit also ensure that these fit perfectly on your A-pillars out of your direct line of sight, but in a good enough place to light up whatever you need. And as a bonus, this whole kit is designed to be plug and play. You get a wiring harness and a switch, and everything comes pre-wired with a relay included, so everything is ready to go and the installation is hassle-free. As with all of Morimoto's products, these are super high quality, and there's some really clever engineering packed in here as well. Now the housings are made from finned aluminum, and you effectively have built-in heat sinks because of that. That aluminum is also electroplated in this nice matte black for additional durability and good looks. Now inside, as these are the HXBs, they're powered by Osram optics with copper direct thermal path printed circuit boards for reliability and heat dissipation. Basically that means they're pretty much solid state inside. They're not going to have anything that's going to jiggle loose over time. The optics inside are also designed to optimize thermal dynamics for cooling, and they are designed to be as lumen dense as possible. So they're going to run cool and they're going to be super bright. The wiring is also overmolded for safety too. It's got a nice heat wrap on it. You've got the relay already pre-installed, and a switch is already pre-installed too. Plus you've even got a little grommet here. Where is it? Right there. You've got a little grommet for where it goes through the firewall. And the whole setup from the wiring harness to the actual lights themselves is IP69K weather resistant. So this can definitely handle some abuse from either you or Mother Nature. The brackets that we were talking about earlier are also specifically designed for this gen of Tundra for proper fitment that doesn't interfere with the function of your truck. These are made from laser cut T304 stainless steel with this nice textured black powder coat over top for a stealthy look and some additional corrosion resistance. So needless to say, there's been a ton of research and development put into these little lights. However, all that good stuff does come at a price, and this kit is going to run you about $700. Now that's a good chunk of change for some ditch lights, but for the output, the design, the engineering, and the ease of installation, I think it really makes these worth the extra spend. They just integrate and work so well that if you've got the room in your budget, you really ought to pick up a set. Installation is going to get an easy 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 1 hour to complete. Now these again are designed to be totally plug and play, so you don't need to do any wiring or cutting to get them fitted. Everything is just going to bolt right on, you plug them in, and you're on your way. Really, about the most amount of time you're going to spend is figuring out where you want to put that switch and how you're going to route these wires. But it really doesn't get too much easier than this. So with that, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through that installation process.
For this install, you will need various ratchets, T30 Torx bit, 12 and 17 millimeter sockets, 17 millimeter ratchet wrench, and also not shown here is a drill and a drill bit for the mounting of your switch. What's up guys, today we're going to be installing some ditch lights on our Tundra, so let's get started. Alright guys, so we've got everything laid out on the table and we're going to start assembling our bracketry first. It's much easier to do this as your first step and then get everything installed on the vehicle. So we're going to start with our base brackets to our light brackets. Now these have a square sliding hole. They're going to be using our elevator bolts. So we're going to get that through the top, facing down the bottom, and you want the arch of your bracket to be facing forward. So you're going to mount like this. So we'll get this through to here. Then we are going to add in a flat washer and a lock nut. Get that loosely in place. Now we're going to leave these loose for now because we want to be able to aim our lights, and we'll tighten them down once they're on the truck, and we're going to do the same thing for our other bracket. Now that we have these loosely in place, we'll get our lights themselves mounted loosely to our brackets. Next, we're going to get our lights mounted to our brackets. Now this has a 3-light design. You want the 2 up top to be facing up. We'll get this lined up with our threaded inserts here on our lights. We have some very short screws. They're going to go in the sides. First one in, get our other one on. Okay, now we can do the same thing for our other light. Now we're going to snug these 2 mounting screws down with a T30 Torx bit on our ratchet. You just want them snug for now. We'll do the same thing for our other light. Now we're going to grab our 17 mil socket on our ratchet and snug this lock nut down. And you may have to hold this bolt a little bit till it tensions up. Again, we just want it snug for now. We'll do the same thing for the other light. And we can still pivot this and move it around. All right guys, so now we're under the hood of our Tundra, and these are gonna mount right to the hood bolts. So we're going to loosen these up. We're not going to fully remove them because the mounts are slotted. So we're going to take our 12 mil socket on our ratchet and just loosen these hood mount bolts. Now your hood struts will do a good job of keeping your hood aligned, but if you feel the need, you can mark around your bracket itself just to keep everything kind of in order. Notice that is going to drop a little bit, that's okay. Next we're going to take our light assembly. We're going to send that behind our hood to come around. So now we've got our bracket around our hood. We'll line our lower slot up so it's got a little bit more room, just like so. Then we can push up on our bracket, and that'll fall into place. Now that we have that on, we'll tighten these right back down. You notice our hood did move a hair, so we're going to adjust that. Now once you have this light mounted, you can do the same thing on the other side. Now we can get ready to hook up our wiring to our battery. The first thing we want to do, however, is you'll notice this is a fused harness. We're going to pop this cover off and take this fuse out for the time being. That's going to keep our circuit dead while we install it. We'll just set that right up here. Once we have that off, we can come to our battery and we're going to install our positive and negative terminals to our battery. Now we can install our terminals onto our battery. So we've got 12mm nuts for our studs on each of our battery terminals. So we've got our 12mm socket. We're going to start with our positive. So we're going to remove this. Grab our positive terminal, set that in place. Reinstall that. Tighten that back down. And we'll do the same thing for our negative side. Tighten that back down. So this harness also comes with a relay, which does come with a little mounting tab. If you wanted to drill a hole or mount it somewhere, tuck it up inside of your engine bay and clean it up however you'd like, you can do that. For demonstration purposes, we're going to set this down and out of the way. It'll be perfectly fine down here. Then we can begin plugging in our lights and also sending our switch through the firewall to our cab. You don't have to wind up your harness too much. So we'll send this up behind our hood. Now we'll come around behind our hood and get our first light plugged in. So now we can plug our light in. So we've got this spun around to make it easier to plug this in. Get right in until it clicks into place. Like so. Spin that back around. Then we'll go to the other side and plug our other light in. Next up, we're going to send our switch through our firewall into our cab. Now to make this a little bit easier, rather than trying to send this large switch through, we're going to disconnect it for now. So we'll unscrew, unplug our switch, and set our actual switch over here. And we're going to send this plug through. Now there is a grommet located to this side of your master cylinder and booster that you can send this through. Be pretty easy to pop out and get this into your cab. So we're going to reach down and do that now. This is going to be pretty hard to see, but if you follow your brake booster master cylinder down to this side, you will see that grommet pretty clearly on the firewall. So now we'll reach back here to our grommet, pop that to the side. And once we've got our plug through, we'll go into the cab, pull it the rest of the way, and hook up our switch. So now we've come into our cab, and again, this is pretty hard to see, but you want to follow this panel up and in, and at the very end of that, towards your firewall, you're going to find your grommet and that plug that we pushed through. So we're going to reach up, grab that plug, pull it through a good bit. You can see that. Then we can take our plug, get that plug back in, screw that back down. Tuck this out of the way. Now this plug is meant to be mounted into your dash at some point. It has a retaining screw on the back side. You want to send that through and screw this in. You will have to drill a hole into your dash panel. For demonstration purposes, we're not going to be drilling any holes, but anywhere you want to mount it, really that's up to you to kind of make it your own, doing that at home. We're just going to tuck ours up out of the way. We'll have it sit for easy access next to our hood release, just like so. But again, you get the concept. Anywhere here you want to drill a hole, or wherever really, and mount this, you'll just drill the hole, send the switch through, and put this retaining nut on the back side, and tighten that down, that'll hold it in place. Now that everything's installed, we can reinstall our fuse. Make sure that's secure. Reinstall your cover. And you can feel free to tuck your harness however you'd like to clean it up and make it your own. Now it's time to fully secure down our lights and aim them however you want. This is going to be up to you. If you want them aiming out and down, straight ahead, really that's your call. But we're going to grab a 17 mil ratchet wrench, tighten down this bottom nut. Once we have that secure, we'll bring back our T30 Torx bit on our ratchet. Aim them vertically how we want. Tighten those down fully. And then you can do the same thing for your other light. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for our review and install of our Morimoto 4-banger A-pillar kit HXB white SAE wide beam lights for your 14 to 21 Tundra. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Tundra, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.